first way to save money on your groceries is buy as much as you can on sale. You can see this week they had butter on sale, $2.77, cantaloupes for 99 cents a pound, milk for $1.27 a pound. Yes, I buy as much as I can on sale. The butter I throw in my freezer, the milk I throw in my freezer. Keep listening because I'm going to tell you how I freeze my butter and milk in just a minute. But as much as I can, I buy everything on sale. You can see on this day, I went to my local Albertsons store. I got pork loin for $1.97 a pound. I got oranges for 99 cents a pound. I got butter for $2.77 a pound. I got milk for $1.27 a half gallon. That is a really darn tootin' good deal. So you can bet I stocked up on those items this week, paying the sale price so I don't have to pay full price later. The next thing is shop the clearance. This same day that I went, they had chocolate milk for 50% off because the sell-by date was the next day. Just because it's the sell-by date doesn't mean that it's expiring. For milk and dairy products, you have a week to 10 days. Some of them will even go up to 2 or 3 weeks, like sour cream will go 2 to 3 weeks, but milk will go 7 to 10 days past the sell-by date. That's how long you have to use it, past the sell-by date. So don't think that those dates on dairy means that you have to use it by that date. That's the day the store has to sell it by, and then you still have 7 days for milk, and then anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks for all of your cream cheeses and your sour cream, that it's still good past that date. We are going to give you our Dining on a Dime cookbook ebook, volume number 1, free at livingonadime.com. Click on our shop, click on our ebooks, click on Dining on a Dime volume 1, add it to your cart. When you go to checkout, use the coupon code DINING1 and you will get our ebook absolutely free with no obligation and no strings attached. Visit us at livingonadime.com. Another tip for clearance shopping is I always walk by their clearance aisle and see if there's anything that's worth getting. Now, today's clearance aisle basket that they had did not have anything that was worth it. If I don't get at least 75% off, usually, not for everything, like the milk I would buy 50% off, but for things like cereal, those types of things, holiday items, I wait until it's at least 75 cents or my target price of like $1 a box for cereal. I wait until the prices get that low. Make sure it's actually worth the price for you to get. And the way to do that is with our price book right here. This is how you know you can just keep tab of the prices. So we just have a place for the store, the item, and then how much the price is. And so here's my target prices for certain items. So I know if bacon is less than $2.99 a pound, then I'll know I need to stock up on bacon because that's an even better price than I normally get for my sell price. This is my price right here. That's my target sell price. Fish, if it's $3 a pound or less, then I know to stock up on that. Turkey, if it's less than 79 cents a pound in my area, that's a good deal. So when I saw turkeys the other day for 50 cents a pound, then I stocked up on a couple of turkeys. Another tip on that is ask your butcher if they will cut your turkey in half, because sometimes they do, and then you can just cook it like a large chicken, but you don't have this huge turkey that you have to deal with. Sometimes I look for clearance items along the aisle shelves. They'll just put the clearance on the aisle itself. Once again, look and make sure that it's actually a good deal. It may or may not be a good deal. I passed up these cocoa packets because they weren't a good deal, but they were on clearance. Now, another deal that I did get was this ham, and it was $1.25 a pound, which was a good deal in my area. So I picked up this ham and we are going to cook it, even though it's not Easter or Christmas. Ham is good all year round. And what I do is I go ahead and get it cooked up. If it's already pre-cooked, you can just slice it and put it into packets. Here's how I do that with ham. Right here is the ham I have. Now I bet I'm gonna get at least 10 different meals out of this, but we'll see. So come along with me as I cut it up for different meals, and I'll show you how I cook ham or cut up ham to have it ready, cooked, really quick dinners. It takes me less than 15 minutes to put together. This is one of the ways I do it. All right, so here we go. I have a couple of bowls and plates here. So first of all, you can cook this the first day if you want, but usually I just go ahead and just cut it all up, cut around the bone. And this is kind of hard, so okay, let's see. It's kind of hard to figure out where you got to get started on these, where the bone is. Okay, so I just spent not quite 20 minutes, about 17 minutes cutting this up. So let me see how many meals do I think I have out of this. So there's probably two, three, four. So I can get 4 dinners out of this, and that's for 4 to 5 of us right now that we're eating. Then I've got, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half, 7. So I have 7 to 8 meals that I can make out of the slices of ham. Now what am I going to make with this? I'll make honey baked ham. I will make maple glazed ham. I will just fry the ham. I could do ham with potatoes, and I could just fry it or make a hot ham and cheese sandwich. Those are a few of the items that I could do with this. Now this here is my ham crumbles, and some of these need to be a little bit smaller. So what would I do with these? I would fry these up and put these in bacons, and I put these instead of bacon with my scrambled eggs and my ham salad. I could do something like that. And I have at least 3 meals here. So I have 7 to 8 plus 3. So I have at least 10 meals here, 11 meals, because I will boil this with beans to make ham and beans. So out of a 10, oops, wait a minute. No, I have more than that. I forgot this whole piece right here. Oh, good grief. Yeah, so I have a full 11 meals plus a little left over now that I have this one that I missed, that I can make out of this one ham that I paid $9 for. So to feed 4 to 5 of us, that is going to be less than $1 each. What, 75 cents each, somewhere around there? So that is a really good deal. Now, what I do, let me get this chopped up here. There. Okay, so now what I do is I will put each meal serving in either a bag like this, or I will take my foil and stack it in my foil, and then it's already prepared for one meal. So here's one meal's worth. So then if I decide to put my flavorings in there, like my honey baked or my maple glaze, and I would do that in there, fold it up, put it in a freezer bag, and then it's all ready. You can put it in freezer sacks like this if you want for the smaller portions. So like I would do it in family-sized meals. So there's probably 1 for eggs. And I do them in these little ones because I use them up fast enough that I don't need a big freezer bag. We'll probably eat this within the next 6 to 8 weeks, all of these meals. And so that's why I do them in smaller portions. And then I put these big ones in freezer bags too. That way I don't get a big freezer bag dirty, but it keeps it from getting all freezer burn, which usually 6 to 8 weeks it doesn't, but just in case I miss one. So then I'll just stick them in here. Then my cost is like a penny for these. So that's not hardly anything at all. So that is one way I make dinner in less than 15 minutes and $5 or less for 4 to 6 people. It's really not hard. It took me, what, 17, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, somewhere around there, but I guess 20 minutes, let's say 20 minutes by the time I bag everything up. And now I have dinner already pre-cooked or pre-measured, and all I have to do is bring it out of the freezer, pop it in the oven, scrub up some potatoes, throw those in there, let it all warm up and bake and get yummy and delicious, and it tastes just fresh and home cooked without a ton of work. All of these are in our Dining on a Dime cookbook. The next tip is to look in unconventional places for your clearance and your on sale food. I went to my Dollar General the other day. They had yogurts for 45 cents on clearance. Quick, need to get rid of it. So if we ate yogurt, I would go there and stock up. It's half price, 45 cents instead of 90 cents. So I would have gotten several of these if we ate yogurt. We don't eat yogurt, but if we did, I would have stocked up on several of these. The next thing is go to different stores for different items. Now, I'm not saying you have to make a separate trip to a store clear across town. What would make it worth a separate trip across town? Let's say they have chicken breasts on sale for 99 cents or $1.49 a pound versus $4, $5, $6 a pound. I would drive 20 minutes across town to go to a store specifically for something like that, where I could stock up, fill my freezer, get a couple $100 worth, maybe $200 worth of chicken, fill up my freezer, then I have chicken for the next 9 months. That would be worth it. But let's say eggs at my Dollar General are $3.75 versus $6 at Walmart. Well, I drive by Dollar General almost every time I go anywhere. So it's worth it for me to run in and get a couple of dozen eggs to save $10 for literally 5 minutes worth of work. But if I had to drive across town to go to Dollar General to save on eggs, no, I would not drive across town to go to Dollar General. But since I drive by it every time I go someplace, yeah, it's worth me running in, grabbing 3 or 4 dozen, saving 10, 15 bucks for literally 5 minutes worth of work. That is definitely worth it. The next thing is check your prices on your store shelves. You can see here at Walmart, the Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk is $2.87, but the Walmart brand is $2.23. So you can see I save around 65 cents per can if I just pick up the store brand versus the name brand. What most people don't understand when they're name snobs, when they're name brand snobs, is that the store brand is made by the brand company. They just put the label for the store on there. It happens all the time. Like, let's say I got a special request from a bank that wanted to give my Dining on a Dime cookbooks to their customers if they sign up for a new account or something. I would just take off my cover, put the bank's cover on here, sell them their 100,000 or 200,000 copies, and then it's the same book, but I just, as a company, get more copies sold. That's all they're doing with store brands at the store. Most people don't understand that. It is the name brand company that's making that item. They just put the store brand's label on it. The next thing is stop wasting money on buying packets of seasonings. I never even look at the seasoning packet section. I had absolutely no idea there was so many seasoning packets. I was flabbergasted. All my seasonings right here. Dining on a Dime cookbook. Let me show you how easy it is to make my seasoned salt and my taco seasoning. Okay, let me show you how simple it is to make this seasoned salt. So I have my salt shaker here. I have a big one because I use seasoned salt literally 10 times a day. I mean, we put this on everything. So all I do, now the recipe is in the description below, but I just add some salt. I don't know, about a third of salt. Then I add just a little bit of paprika because I like the paprika. You don't have to have it in there if you don't want to. My onion powder. My black pepper. Now I'm doing this over a plate. Normally I do this over the sink, but I'm doing this over the plate. This is another tip. Stop making messes. When you're filling stuff, don't do it over the counter, do it over the sink, okay? And then this is my garlic powder. Gonna get that in. Okay, then I halfway through just give it a good shake to get the first little bit mixed up in there. Then I just do it again. 1 minute and 30 seconds so far. So this is gonna be literally a 2-minute process. And then you're not paying retail. Just get that all mixed up. Then you're not paying retail for your seasoned salt. Now normally, I just made a mistake. Normally I don't fill it this high. Normally I only fill it this high so that it mixes. But look, I'm not gonna freak out. I'm just gonna take a knife and just stir it in there. Just like so. And there, you can see it's all mixed in. So I just looked on Walmart and it is $4.12 for $3 for 8 ounces. And this is about 8 ounces right here. I made this for probably, so this is $1 and I only use about this much per seasoned salt. So maybe 20 cents, 40 cents, 5 cents, 45, maybe 50 cents, maybe 50 cents. And I save $2.50 for literally 1 to 2 minutes worth of work, okay? And it took me actually a little bit longer because I'm explaining it, but there you go, seasoned salt right there, super simple. Okay, next, let me show you how to make taco seasoning. So I have my empty spice jar here. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1 on page 393, right there. Now, you can measure this all out. I've been making this for 20, almost 30 years. I've been making this for almost 30 years. So I just estimate because I know about how much I need of each, Okay, so get my taco seasoning all made. That's my paprika, my cayenne pepper, my oregano, my chili powder, my cumin, and my onion powder, let's get that one finished up. And then my garlic powder. Now for us, I add just a little extra because Mike likes things extra garlicky. So you don't have to add this much garlic if you don't want. I just add extra because Mike likes it extra garlicky. And that's the beauty. You know the ingredients, no additives or anything. It's just your spices. Look at it, isn't that pretty? Here, there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thumbnail. Okay, so then I just take and mix this up. Now, for this, you just use 2 teaspoons, which is what the store-bought is, for each serving of tacos. And the beauty of this is if you're gluten-free, you don't have to worry about them putting gluten in, because they put gluten in a lot of seasoning packets. But this is just the spices. Now, this cost me probably about 75 cents, maybe 75 cents to $1, I would say. And I would say this cost me 75 cents to $1. Okay, let's figure out the math on how much this is going to cost us versus buying the taco packets, okay? Okay, so I have my 1/4 cup measure here. And well, wait a minute, let's just pour it into here. Okay. So I have just under 2 cups. If I would have filled this all the way, it would have been 2 cups for, let's say, $1. Okay, so this cost me $1, but if I buy the taco seasoning packets individually, it is, so there is 96 teaspoons in 2 cups, which costs me about $1, 75 cents to $1, which is the equivalent of taco seasoning packets. So I saved $2.75 by making my own homemade. Now you might say, Tara, okay, that's $2 is not that big of a deal. Now, normally I don't go through all this. I'm just doing this to show you guys. This is not normal. I just pour it all in here and shake it up. This literally took me about 45 seconds worth of work to fill this. But here's the beauty of it. If I run out of taco seasoning, I don't have to worry about if I have taco packets, because I just have these 6 ingredients already on hand. These are I have about 10 main seasonings that I use all the time, not including salt and pepper. So 12 if you include salt and pepper. So by having these on hand all the time, I can just make my own if I need to, and I don't have to worry about, let's say I want tacos tonight. Oh, well, I don't have a taco season packet. Well, it doesn't matter because I can just make my own. But work this out. This is $162 an hour I earn by making my own homemade seasoning. How did I figure that? I saved $2.75 with 1 minute worth of work. $2.75 times 59 minutes is $162 an hour for my labor and my time. So, you know, that's a darn tootin' good wage if you ask me. So in the description below, guys, I have a list of 10 homemade seasonings that I make all the time. Fajita seasoning, poultry season, onion soup mix, ranch dressing, all of those can be made for pennies compared to the store. And they are 1,000 times better tasting than you will ever get in the store brand. And you know exactly what's in there. And it's 100% pure seasoning. In most of the seasonings, like the taco seasoning, let's say at the store, they have fillers to bulk it up. So you're not actually getting pure seasoning. You're only getting like 50% seasoning. Stop wasting money on seasoning packets. Just make your own homemade. It will taste so much better, so much cheaper, and you know exactly what ingredients are in your seasoning. Along the lines of making your own, I hardly ever have any drink bottles in my grocery bill. What do I mean by that? I make my own tea, my own coffee. I don't buy bottles of juice. Drinks amount to about 1/3 of most people's grocery bills. Yeah, I buy soda once or twice a year at the holidays like Thanksgiving or Memorial Day or Labor Day, Christmas, when they are on sale at the very cheapest, and I will buy sodas then. I limit the amount of soda we have. If we run out, I do not go out and buy more soda. They will have to wait till the next stock up time. I limit the amount of soda that we can have. No more than 1 per day. Usually it doesn't even end up being that many, but there is a limit to the amount that they can have. Otherwise, I make my own homemade iced tea, my own homemade iced coffee, own coffee drinks. We don't ever hardly go to Starbucks, anything like that, unless it's just like, you know, if we're going to meet someone to have a, you know, conversation with a friend or something, that's fine. But as a general rule, no, we don't stop by the coffee shop every single day. The next thing is use all the last bits of everything. Use a spatula to scrape out your sour cream. Pour some hot water into your honey container and swish it around and then pour it in your tea. If your tortilla is cracked, make some homemade tortilla chips, but don't let your food go to waste. If you have bread ends or the kids don't eat the heels or something like that, let them dry out, grind them up, and you've got breadcrumbs. Seasonings and breadcrumbs, I cannot fathom why people buy those things. I have maybe bought those things once or twice only because I needed for a video and I had to specifically do that for a video. Otherwise, I just always make homemade. I just never ever buy those things. So that's one way I only spend $400 a month on my grocery bill for my family of 4, even now. The next thing is don't just assume things are bad. You can see this roast got stuck at the back of my freezer. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can save this roast. So I'm gonna throw this in the Instant Pot and see if it's still edible. Yeah, it looks a little rough there. I don't know. We'll see. You guys think I can save it? Okay, got it in there. Got my seasoned salt, very thoroughly salted. Nobody ever uses enough salt. Use enough salt. All right, and then I have my water. It's just the water from my teapot, just because it's easier. You don't have to put hot water in there. Is that gonna be enough gravy? Yeah, that should be enough gravy. Okay, I'm gonna cook this for 4 hours. See how it does. Got a little bit of freezer burn and I was like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. I went ahead, threw it in the crock pot, threw my seasoned salt on it, cooked it. It was perfectly fine. Yeah, it didn't look so good when I took it out of the freezer, but after it was cooked, it looked fine. It tasted delicious. Nobody even knew it had been sitting in my freezer for 2 years. So don't throw away bad food. Go ahead and cook it up. It's not going to food poisoning you. You're not going to get food poisoning from it. The worst that'll happen is it might just taste bad from freezer burn. The next thing is use your freezer. When I saw this chicken on clearance for $1.26 and $1.40 a pound, I got an entire basket load, filled up my freezer. I found a really darn tootin' good deal at Walmart. They had chicken for $1.40 a pound, then chicken for $1.26 a pound. So I got a good portion of what they had because at that time my freezers were empty. So when I find a really good deal like that, I will stock up. Now what's funny is right before that I had stopped at the grocery store and they had it for $1.56 a pound or 59 a pound. And normally that's my stock up price. So I had gotten several packages of it before and then I ran across this extra super good deal. This is where our price book comes in to play. So then you know when it's a good deal to stock up. So people ask me, how do I store all of this chicken? So what I do is I just throw it straight in my freezer. I don't even leave the plastic bags on. Mike did this because I never leave the plastic bags on. Well, unless it's dripping. If it's got juices that are dripping, then I'll leave the plastic bag around it till it's frozen. But I just throw it in like this and I use it fast enough that I don't need to worry about it. I do not regularly. Oh no. Oops. Oh dear. Avalanche. Okay, had an avalanche happening. Okay, so if I get the big boxes of chicken, then I will repackage it into here. But if I get these, like the ones that I got at Walmart, then I will just leave them in this and just throw them in the freezer. So I have this whole freezer, and then I have this whole freezer, and it's got chicken and roasts in this, and butter is the majority of the things in this freezer. Now, I focus on meat first because that's the most expensive thing. So if I find like my French bread that was 27 cents a loaf here, I'm not going to stock my freezer with French bread at 27 cents a loaf if I have to choose between cheap meat or French bread. I'll fill it first with the most expensive things. But let's say meat hasn't been on sale for a while. I'm waiting for it to go back on sale because I know with my price book it's going to go on sale maybe in a few weeks. Then I'll go ahead and stock up on several loaves of the French bread, put it in my freezer, and then when the meat goes on sale, I'll finish stocking up my freezer. But focus on the most expensive items that you eat first when they're on sale or clearance for your freezer. Milk is another thing that it's fairly cheap. So I will freeze it when it's on sale, like it is for $1.27 a half gallon right now, but I'm not going to stock up a ton. So I got 4 or 5 bottles of it. The milk that comes in the plastic and the cardboard cartons, I just throw it straight in the freezer. I don't take any off, nothing. The plastic and the cardboard expands enough that it's not a big deal. I have never had it burst open. If you've had that problem, then just pour off 1/4 to 1/2 cup of milk out first and put it in a glass and let your kids drink it. But I never have a problem with my milk bursting or anything like that. So I just throw it straight in the freezer. Then when it's time to use it, I just pull it out of the freezer, set it on my sink to let the moisture, when it defrosts, sometimes that condensation will drip. So I set it on my sink, let it thaw out for a couple of hours. As soon as it's done thawing out, I just shake it up really good, throw it back in the fridge, and we're ready to go. That's all I do. So it's super simple to freeze things like milk. Now, as far as my meats, no, I don't go and vacuum seal and do all this huge ordeal for my meats. I literally just leave them in the packages like they come from the store and throw them in the freezer like that. And I have done that for 30 years and I have never had a problem. I know there are people who love to vacuum seal, and that's fine. If you don't mind doing the extra work and the extra cost and all that kind of thing, go for it. But over 30 years, I've never had a problem with it. You can do what you want with that, but I just throw it in there and I just make sure that I rotate through so that hopefully nothing gets stuck at the back. And it does happen. Don't worry. I do have that happen. Another tip for your freezer is to have a shelf for each like item. So have one shelf for chicken, one shelf for pork, and one shelf for beef, or one shelf for roasts and one shelf for ground beef, however you want to do that. That way you can just look at a glance if you need to replenish your stock when something is on sale, and you don't have to keep track of all this, you know, hoo-ha and everything of keeping lists and writing all this stuff on your freezer. I don't have time for all that mess. So 1 shelf for chicken, 1 shelf for ground beef, 1 shelf for roast, and 1 shelf for pork is basically how I do it. That way I can just look and see, oh, I'm almost out of pork. Okay, I'm gonna get some more pork. It's on sale for $1.97. Let's stock up. So that's how I do it. Next thing is to buy for the next season. So it was January and they had these stuffing mixes for 50 cents a box instead of $2 and something. So I bought 15 boxes. I'm going to use them for the whole year, but I'm going to save a couple of boxes for next Thanksgiving and Christmas because guess what? They don't expire until 2026. This is 2025. Be perfectly fine. So I just put them in my pantry, and then when Christmas and Thanksgiving come around, I just saved myself $5 on 2 boxes of stuffing mix. Next is stop making your meals so complicated. Get a cookbook like our Dining on a Dime cookbook, guys. Most of these recipes take less than 20 minutes to make for hands-on prep time. Yeah, some things like the roast, you'll have to bake it in the oven or the crock pot for longer. But as far as actual prep time, I don't spend more than about 20 minutes in the kitchen. I just don't. I don't like cooking. That's why I wrote the cookbook, because I hate cooking. And when I realized people were making it just way too complicated because they were using these crazy recipes with 20 ingredients, you don't need to do that. Simplify your recipes. Right here is my chicken soup. I threw in my chicken breasts. I threw in my carrots, my onions, my celery, some bouillon, some of my seasoned salt. Let it cook for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I had dinner, chicken and rice soup right there. I had leftover rice that I just threw in there. Maple glazed chicken, just 4 ingredients. You throw it in the oven and bake it. It literally takes 5 minutes prep time. All right, this recipe is maple glazed chicken. Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 2 something. What, 51? Is that right, dear? You can see from all the splatters that we love maple glazed chicken in our house. Okay, as you can see, I got this chicken for $5.24. So that makes it $1.26 a pound. I bought all they had. I think there was like 6 or 8 of them. My chicken is not completely defrosted, which is fine. So these chicken breasts are actually 2 servings. So cut them in half, like so, because they're so big. And that also helps them to cook quicker. Okay, now let me spray my pan here. Now, this is, I am doubling the recipe to feed a family of 8 now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a baby, so that's not going to count. Okay, so most of the kids are pretty small. I might just go ahead and do one more. All right, let me cut this piece for us for dinner, and then it'll all be all ready. Just a second, let me wash my hands. Okay, next I'm going to take my seasoned salt. That recipe is also in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, and I will link it in the description below. It's on our website, Living on a Dime. Sprinkle it with seasoned salt, just like so. Then we're going to put it in a 450-degree oven. Let it cook. Then, this is my new favorite pop that Mom has. It has a lid that has a strainer on it. It's pretty cool. I will link this below also for you guys. Going to put in my butter or margarine, whichever you want. My maple syrup right there. Okay, now I love these little true lemon things. Yes, this is a luxury, but That way I don't have lemons spoiling on me, so that's what I use for my baking. I actually save money because I don't have my lemons spoiling, but if I would remember to freeze them, it would be fine, but I don't. Okay, so then we're going to put all this in here and let it come to a boil for about 5 minutes to come together and thicken. Also, I'm going to add just a little bit more seasoned salt to it. Okay, now when it's done cooking about, oh, that's not good. What did I just drop in there? Oh, no. Oh, dear. Okay, this is a situation. A crisis is being averted as we speak. Maybe. Oh, no, it's getting worse. Oh, dear. Oh, my. Oh, dear. Oh.
Now it's going to melt to the floor.
Okay. All right, this is my silicone mat. Now can I get it back under? Oh my, oh no, now my pot holder is on fire. Oh dear. Okay, oh dear. Now I'm burning myself. Okay. This is not exactly how I would recommend doing this. Ow, let me go put water on my burn. This is a day in the life of Tara. Yeah. Oops. But see, look, dear. God gave me this moment to enjoy the beautiful tree with the leaves falling, the cleaned up garden for the winter, the light, gentle rain. What do you think, dear?
I think that's true.
Now, for those of you like me who have issues burning yourself, I always keep some aloe with pain relief in the cabinet to put on immediately. Yes, back to what we were doing. Now I've got my chicken here, so I'm going to put my maple glaze over the top. Oh my goodness, yum. And I'm going to let this finish baking. Okay? Doesn't that look good?
Mm-hmm.
And there is the maple glazed chicken. Now, since this sauce is so thin, I'm going to let it reduce just a little bit. So I'm going to pour it in the pan and cook it down just a little bit so it's a little bit thicker. What I'm going to do is I've got a little water here, and I'm going to sprinkle just a bit of cornstarch in there. Pour it in, bring this to a boil, and it will thicken up. Okay, I'm going to taste test it. Needs just a titch more salt. Okay, we'll let this thicken. All right, you can see it's starting to bubble up and boil. See how much thicker that's getting? Let it thicken just a bit more. Okay, see how much thicker that is now? Ooh, perfect. Then we're just going to pour it all over the top. Yum!
That looks amazing.
Now you're jealous for their dinner?
Yes. Although if we get the stir fry, I'm okay.
That's what we're having tonight. All right, maple glazed chicken. Throw on some rice, throw in some pre-made biscuits or a loaf of French bread and a package of frozen vegetables, and you've got dinner. Stop making dinner way more complicated than you need to. Simplify, get yourself 10 meals for spring and summer, 10 meals for winter and fall that you can just cook all the time. Eating the same meal 3 times a month is not that big of a deal. It's really not. Your family probably wants to because those are their favorite dishes. I don't meal plan. I just keep my pantry stocked with those ingredients. When I go grocery shopping, I go to grocery shop to replace what's out of my pantry or my refrigerator or freezer. I don't shop for meals or dinners. I just replace what's in my pantry. So let's say I think, oh, let's have tacos tonight. And I go in there and there's no taco shells. Oh, that's fine. We're not going to have tacos. Oh, I've got sweet and sour sauce. Okay, let's have sweet and sour chicken instead. That's how I cook. I hate meal planning. I think it's a huge waste of time. I know if you like doing that, you just go for it. I have no problem with that. But literally at 4:30, 99% of my days, I'm like, what am I going to fix for dinner tonight? And then I just cook from what I have in my pantry. So stop making meals more complicated than they need to. If you want more tips on how to save on your grocery bill, go watch this video next and visit us at livingonadime.com.